Hey guys, Miss Alicia, spiritual wellness mindset coach, helping people who struggle with forgiveness and the negative impact of starting over. I'm not a doctor, I'm a life coach. Today's message is coming from the Old Testament, Judges chapter 15. It's actually part 2. The video that I did is called Everything That Looks Good May Not Be Good for You. And that was Judges chapter 14. And basically, that was about Samson. Y'all know Samson, the one that had the strength in his hair, the one that laid his head in Delilah's lap. That's Samson. Well, Samson wanted to be with a Philistine woman. He wanted to marry her. And he told his family that he wanted them to go get her. Make a long story short, they ended up getting married. And Samson was assigned 30 men from her side of the family to hang out with him in his bachelor's party. And he gave them a riddle. He gave them 7 days to get it right. They accepted the riddle thinking that they could get it right, but they couldn't. And they went and threatened his wife and told her, you better find out what that riddle is, or we're going to deal with you and your daddy. We're going to tear up some stuff. We're going to burn some stuff down. So she was threatened. She had to go to Samson and cry and nag and whine until she got it out of him. He told her. She went back and told the riddle exactly how Samson told her. They was ready to come back and tell him what it was. Then they told Samson the riddle exactly how she said it. He got mad and he knew. The only way you knew that is through her, okay? Because if y'all remember, he got that riddle because he tore that lion apart where he said out of the eater is something to eat and out of the strong is something sweet. He got that about that lion. Anyway, so he kept his end of the bargain because it was, if they got it right, he had to give them 30 linen and 30 garments. And if they didn't get it right, they were going to have to do it. Okay. And they were upset because they accepted the challenge and couldn't get it. Okay. So now they over there pressing his wife, talking about, you got us in this and you trying to make us look bad out here and try to make us poor. She didn't tell them to accept that challenge. They did that. Sometimes people get themselves in the middle of stuff because they don't want to look bad saying no. You're going to have to realize there are things that you need to say, hey, I'm going to pass. You right. I don't know the riddle. Okay. I ain't even try to figure it out. But there are people with egos and they feel, oh, I ain't finna let nobody challenge me. I'm going to get it. See how that turned out, right? Well, they ended up telling him this riddle. And Samson, even though he know they pressed his wife, he went on down to Ashkelon, hit up 30 men, and took their stuff and brought it back and gave it to him. But he was mad. So he left and went to his daddy's house. That's how Judges chapter 14 ended. But I want to know, have you ever been in a relationship and there was an issue that went on, a little fuss between y'all, and you left and you was gone for a while, but over some time you thought about it and you decided, I'm going back. You probably, if you was a guy, you probably, let me get her some flowers, let me get her some candy, what am I going to say? Maybe I'm thinking of a poem or something. I'm going to get her a gift, something that I know she liked. And you females, you might say, oh, I was wrong. Let me get a nice outfit, or let me think of something. Maybe I'll cook him a nice meal. Y'all both, we all think about something. When we done something wrong, we trying to think of the sweetest way besides our words that would get them to melt again and us be in their good graces, right? Well, the daddy was involved in this. And it says that the daddy gave her in marriage to one of the companions after he left. Okay? Now, before I get into this message, I want to give you 3 definitions. The first definition is the word hate. And hate means feel intense or passionate dislike for someone. You despise them. You can't stand them. The next word is revenge. Revenge means inflict hurt or harm on someone for an injury or wrong done to someone else. And lastly, the word control. Control is the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. So now, in this message, Judges chapter 15, it says that Samson decided, I'm going to go on back to my girl. He didn't calm down. He probably realized, you know what? It ain't her fault. It's the men that pressed her, okay? They was the ones that threatened her to get that riddle out of me. I'm going to go on back. I'm going to take this animal. That's what they did. The same way we would have got flowers and candy, well, they was going to get an animal. So he brought that back. He probably got his little words together, what he was going to say. When he got there, her daddy stopped him at the door like, whoa, hey, what's going on? He want to know why he can't come in. And he like, well, wait a minute. Hey, what you doing here? And he like, I'm here for my wife. And he like, well, I thought you hated her. So, I gave her to one of the companions to marry. You what about her sister? You can have her. And Samson looking like, what? You know what? The first time y'all was messing with me, I done dealt with it, but now y'all really finna get it. Y'all, you doing too much now. And it says that Samson left and he got mad. You know what Samson did? I ain't know nobody to do nothing like this even today. And don't ever do no crazy stuff like that. But Samson, back then, he went and got 300 foxes, tied their tails together. They still alive. Tied their tails together. So imagine 2 scrambling foxes. One go this way, one go this way. And he lit them. A whole bunch of them lit them. And they just went scrambling all through these people's fields and everything. And it tore up everything. Burned down everything. It ruined everything. And all them people could be like, who did this? And they're like, it's that Samson that did that. And so now, Samson, being out of control, now these people is trying to come for revenge on him. It's like one did something, then the other one did something. Then they did something, they did something. They did something. And it's just like a back and forth thing. Why am I telling you this message? Well, if you are Samson, ask God to forgive you for jumping before praying about things, There are things that we are going to go through that we don't need to hurry up and just say, I got to do something. You ask God to give you control. You understand? In this life, it's going to always be something that we're going to go through. And we have to know how to handle it. You need to ask God to give you a moment to think. You understand? Some people don't need to be in relationships because they don't know how to handle them. Now, am I telling you don't get in a relationship? No, I'm not telling you that. I said some people don't know how to handle them. And they do too much, right? I remember hearing when we were young, teenagers don't need to be in no relationship because they don't know nothing about heartbreak. And they just get to whining and calling and trying to go and see them. And it's like, you got to know when somebody don't want to be with you no more, you got to know how to accept that. Now, in this instance, it was the father. Now, you might say, the father was wrong. He shouldn't have gave his daughter away. Again, we really don't know how long Samson was gone. So the daddy probably was like, I did what I thought was best. I gave her to the companion. I want you to think about that today. The word control, hate, revenge. The main thing I want you to know is when you get into relationships, and they don't work out, don't go doing the most. Control yourself. Go to God and ask Him to heal your heart. There are more people in this world that we could be with. Don't go ruin your life because of your feelings and your emotions. Over time, you'll be able to move on and still have your integrity and your freedom. Think about it. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Bye.